Discovering Your Authentic Leadership, Harvard Business Review article by Bill George. I'm going to summarize key takeaways and learning. We all have the capacity to inspire others and empower their growth. But before we do that, it's very important for us to devote time and energy to our own personal growth. And that's where authentic leadership, being authentic, being your true authentic self, requires work. And it's important for us to learn how we do that. So why be an authentic leader? People can very easily see through when someone is faking. And when you try to be someone else, you lose that genuineness, that authenticness, and people can see through it. And when people see through that you're faking, they don't have trust in you. And so without being authentic or genuine, you don't get the trust of your people. And if you want to get sustained superior results over a long period of time, which is the ultimate mark of a great leader, you have to be authentic. You can't be who you are not for a long period of time. There is growing distrust among senior leaders, and this article attempts to summarize interviews from 125 leaders across the globe, ranging from a diverse age group of 23 to 93 years age. And they have written like 3,000 pages of transcripts and summarizing what is that process to becoming an authentic leader. So what are the steps to being an authentic leader? We understood why it's important to be authentic and what is authentic. And there are 6 steps that they found out by interviewing 125 leaders. What are those 6 steps that each of these leaders used? First was, these leaders who were authentic, they used their life stories and experiences to draw inspiration on which areas will they lead. They all had a life story. They didn't see it from the sense of being a victim. They actually framed their life stories and their learnings in a pretty big way. And they're constantly reframing and getting better. And once you have gone through certain deep experiences that may be challenging in the past when you're growing up, when you share those things, you will speak not from the head alone, but also from the heart. People can sense it. So it's important to draw on those life experiences, because that could be the position of your weakness, but that can be reframed and transformed to being the position of your strength. And this requires lifetime of commitment to actually do this. So this is not an easy thing. A lot of introspection is needed. The second step is to build a lot of self-awareness. Once you have gone through your life experiences and figured out which areas you really care, you want to first know yourself. Explore yourself. Find out who you really are. And if you are in constant denial and if you're not taking feedback, then it's going to be very hard for you to build that self-awareness. Being able to take those criticism, tolerate failure and disappointment is the basic foundation for building self-awareness. And people will give you feedback and you will take feedback if you have a solid foundation of self-respect, which comes from genuine accomplishments that you can see yourself having achieved in the past. So building that self-awareness, grounding yourself with perspective, feedback from others is important. Once you've drawn through your life experiences, figured out areas that you care, then there'll be certain values that you care about. Those values could help you define your leadership principle, your style, or your way of expressing those values. For example, let's say you value concern for someone else or others, concern for others. Then when you lead an organization, you could build an organization that provides a work culture that is full of respect, provides job security, that everyone's not constantly looking out if they will have a job, provides a place where everyone's able to fulfill their dream and potential. Now that's actually translating that value of concern for others into a leadership principle. Like you're actually leading that way. You're actually doing that work. So it's important to find out your values and leadership principle. Then it's important for you to introspect and find out what are your intrinsic motivations and extrinsic motivations. A lot of time we get caught up in extrinsic motivations, which are easy to measure. So things like dollar in the bank, assets that we have, position, power, fame, etc. But there are lots of internal motivations as well that each one of us has. So it's very much important to find out what is the source of happiness, fulfillment, what gives you joy, what gives you that sense of mastery, growth, meaning in life, what kind of social causes you want to spend your time and energy in so that you make this world a better place. So it's important to have that balance and really feed both your extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. You need a support team. A lot of this you can't do on your own. Your relationships of your support team, as a CEO, you need a board, right? So you're CEO of your life. You need a board members who guide you, who give you perspective, don't let you lose your way. And they give you honest feedback for you can improve. They not only accept you for who you are, they celebrate you who you are. You can be vulnerable to them. You need at least 1 or 2 people who is your support team, like the CEO has the board. And then having an integrated life by staying grounded and equanimous. You got to be the same person where you are at home, at work, with family members, in community, with friends. If you're not, you're just constantly, again, faking yourself. You're not authentic. Getting exercise, taking care of yourself, taking care of your emotional, spiritual health, well-being of not just yourself, but also for your community, and getting back to your roots is critical. So look at all of these 6 steps. These are the steps that these 125 leaders across the globe used to actually discovering their authentic self. And all of this starts with deep self-work. I started this video with the quote that was in this article, which says, hey, we have the capacity to inspire other people and empower their growth, but we can only do that once we have done that on our personal level, right? We need to devote a lot of time to actually grow ourselves and be the master of our own career and destiny. And that requires a lot of work. Look at all of these 6 steps. Each of these requires a lot of self-work. We'll have to get better as leaders. We'll have to improve through our life stories. We have to build a lot of self-awareness, to figure out what our values and leadership principles are, to figure out internally what are our motivations and external motivations. We'll have to build a support team, invest time and energy in them. And finally, you have to have an integrated life. Can't be an unbalanced life where you actually got the dollar in the bank, but you lost your health very quickly. Then it's useless. So being an authentic leader, being who you are everywhere is important, but it requires a lot of self-work, a lot of work on yourself. So that was the article summary and key insights from Discovering Your Authentic Leadership by Bill George. Thanks.